December 6th, 2019.
This is Nerd Bourbon episode 131. I'm Seth Sturgill.
And I'm Todd Sturgill.
Welcome, Todd.
Hello, Seth.
To my lair of nightmares.
I mean, okay.
I felt it appropriate that I call. I feel like I've been living in a nightmare.
I mean, I know what you've been dealing with, and I pray for you every day.
There's no salvation for me. No, I've been really busy. I hate it. Being an adult sucks. Nobody prepares you when you're a kid for how shitty it is to be an adult.
You could always say no, Seth.
And you know what's cruel? You know what's really cruel? Is kids, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, I looked forward to being an adult. And nobody corrected me. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody was like, oh no, don't look forward to it. It actually really sucks.
Well, here's the thing. Why would you want to break someone's spirit at that age?
Just to prepare them.
No.
To prepare them for the bullshit and nightmares that await them.
No, it's not fair. Not fair. You got to let the children enjoy their childhood until the fucking thing happens.
Well, that's exactly what I tell them. Like, my nephew will sometimes be like, oh, I can't wait until I'm older. I'm going to do this and that. And I'm like, dude, enjoy your childhood for as long as you possibly can. Don't grow up too fast. Because your life right now is so simple and great. It may seem hard, but there will be a day where you will pine for these years, as I do now.
You know what I miss, honestly?
What do you miss?
Like the preschool nap times.
That was good. Yeah, and I can't even imagine existence anymore. Can you imagine being so young and so full of energy that you used to turn naps down?
I know.
You didn't want them.
It's like naps now are I definitely, with the way I work now, I don't have the time to do the nap shit. But it's like there's days where it's funny. It's like when I know for a fact there's multiple days a week. Like when I'm at work and I'm like, I'm gonna take a nap today. I'm gonna take a good solid nap. But by the time I get home and by the time I'm like doing shit, I'm like, oh. I look over, it's like 10 p.m. I'm like, oh, I should have been in bed like an hour ago.
Bro, the way shit has been going for me for the past 2 weeks or so, I will take what I can get, even if it's just 20 minutes. I'll take it, just anywhere I can just reset my clock.
Yep, just slip 20 minutes of sleep, and I feel you on that. And
it was not always this way. There was a time I was like, I look at my nephew and I'm like, you're so youthful, you're so full of energy.
You know my favorite thing to say to people? I always tell them I'm 25 going on 80.
Yeah, it's some real shit.
It's just like, bro, I feel like dog shit. I feel like steamed fucking dog shit.
Maybe you and I should just join a coterie of vampires. We should join the Court of the Moonlight Decent.
Oh, Lord.
And that's a throwback right there. For folks who've been listening to the show for a while, join that.
Holy shit. I forgot. I didn't even remember if we brought that up before.
I think we did. I think we talked about it on the show. Yeah.
I don't. Okay, that's funny.
We should join that and become one of those vampires. Have you ever actually, if you do a deep dive into the vampire culture, it's like there are vampires who, we don't necessarily all drink blood. Some of us feed on sexual energy. Some of us feed on just life force in general. It doesn't have to be from blood or whatever. And I'm like, you guys know this is all bullshit, right? And they base their lives around. I mean, look, as long as you're not hurting anybody, I guess.
You know what I base my life around?
What?
I base my life around taking in a lot of just stupid substances, hoping I die. Do you know I drink these fucking 300 milligram of pop caffeine energy drinks now?
Oh, those Reigns or whatever it is?
Yeah, dude. I drop dude, here's the thing. I'm getting immune to them now.
You're a fool.
I'm getting immune to them. I need to do too.
Here's my thing. When I see people like you drink the Reigns or the Bang Energy or whatever, and I look at the back and everybody swears by them, everybody loves them.
0.00000. I know I'm drinking cancer, boy.
Something is wrong with those drinks. You don't.
Dude, I know there's something wrong with it. Let me tell you there's something I feel in my stomach. I know something's wrong.
Those zeros come with a price
What
tag.
you want me to tell you what you feel like with like in your stomach? You get like there's something hard in your
Oh
stomach. You feel me?
God. Yeah, it's called a kidney stone. It's
Oh
called you're
shit.
building up a giant rock of pure calcium that's going to come out through your dick hole.
Hopefully it tears a hole.
So that's some real shit.
Hopefully it tears a hole and takes me out. I don't care.
The fucking I look at that, I'm like, dude, yeah, like these zeros come with a cost. There's no way. There's no way this can be good for you. Oh yeah, we just figured it out. We figured it out. It's the perfect drink. It gives you all this energy. There's nothing bad in it. It's good for you forever.
Oh no. It's I'm waiting for it to take me.
It's gonna be one of those things where like
I'm waiting for a lot of things to take me, Seth.
it's gonna be one of those things where in 30 years you're gonna be entitled to like a cash settlement.
Shit, bold of you to think I'll make it another 30 years.
Because now you're fucking like at the effects of the fucking rain energy drink has like made you fucking infertile or something like that.
It's not that big a deal.
Just next time you drink it, just pay attention to the way it makes your balls feel and let me know about that. All right?
Well, it kind of does start from the stomach and go down.
Starts from the stomach, you feel the hardness, you feel the kidney stone developing, and then you feel a little bit of a tingle.
I think the balls tighten up a little bit,
The balls tighten up. It's like an active spermicide is in there or something like that. Do you remember the God, this is a legendary, one of the classic legendary nerd bourbon tangents.
This is classic nerd bourbon. I don't give a shit.
Do you remember the theory or rumor that was going around for a while where people would look at how the energy drinks would tout taurine as an active ingredient? They're like, that's like bull semen, right? Have you ever heard that?
Like years ago.
I still hear that all the time. Like, oh, you know why I'll never drink one of these energy drinks? Taurine, man. That's bull semen. That's what that is.
You know what? Here's the deal. That's pure energy.
It literally isn't bull semen. Like,
I know.
Like, the most rudimentary Google search will tell you exactly what taurine is. It's so stupid. Like, it's just one of those simply incorrect things that just wormed its way into like the lexicon.
But I'll tell you another thing though. Who gives a shit if it was bull semen?
Still drink it.
I'll still drink it. I don't give a shit.
But
Giving me this energy to get through my day. I don't give a fuck.
As long as it gets me through my day, I'll guzzle that bull jizz.
I'll gargle it.
Gargle that equine gravy. Ugh. Oh God.
I cringed a little bit when you said
it. Took it to a weird place. Anyway, Todd, this is a video game podcast, believe it or not. And we typically start out this show every week by asking the age-old question of what you've been playing.
Yeah, it's true.
What's been going on at Chateau de Todd?
I've been going balls deep into the Outer Worlds. I ended up actually buying it on the PS4 because I honestly was too lazy to turn on my Xbox.
That's some next level shit.
Next level shit.
I want to give you an opportunity to talk about that because we talked about the Outer Worlds on the show and it came out. I played a bunch of it. You at that time hadn't played much.
Well, where I left off at is because it basically came out what else was out when that game was Star Wars, right? Star Wars is about to be coming out.
Star Wars came out like 2 weeks after Outer Worlds. You know what I think it was Call of Duty.
Ah, that's right. I knew it was some game was coming out, and I just knew I wasn't gonna be able to put the time in. So where I left off on Xbox was I was fucking just in the first area, like Edgewater, essentially.
Yeah.
So it was no big deal for me to kind of just start anew on PS4, and I just absolutely fell in love with that game.
But isn't that game just a shittier Mass Effect?
Holy shit, dude!
Just kidding.
I need to talk to him because I honestly want to flush out what his problems with that game are, because I have no issue with that game. I love it.
If he would be willing, and he listens to the show, by the way, our friend Tyler, maybe it'd be interesting to do maybe an Outer Worlds special retrospective episode one day, where we can just compare
I
and
feel like
contrast
I feel like he'd be open to it. Honestly, like
Yeah.
it would just have to be the three of us kind of like figuring out a schedule.
That'd
But
be fun to do.
no, it'd be very interesting because like I honestly want to. I don't know. I don't know. I just have no issue with that game. Like I loved every second of it.
I could see where somebody might have an issue with it, but me personally, I
Even
really
like
like it.
like the graphics and whatever, I don't really care. Like I had fun from a pure like just RPG standpoint. Like I really just enjoyed my time with it. Like all the companions, I really enjoyed all the companion quests. Like I gave a shit about like almost every single companion. I loved walking around the Unreliable, like like hearing like the companions and shit like talking to each other. You know, like it was great. Like God, I can go on about that game probably for a good long time.
I want to give you the platform to do exactly that.
All right, well, all right then.
What were some things that stood out about it to you? Because you're a fan of games of this type.
Yeah, it'd be like honestly, it really the game to me like really feels like Fallout New Vegas.
It is. It is very much
It is
the spiritual
it
successor.
is very much new. Yeah, it is very much like what I love about New Vegas. And honestly, I feel like it's funny. Is like the faction stuff bothered me in New Vegas somewhat. Not like I actually had no issue with it in this game.
It's handled so much more elegantly in this game.
Yes, I prefer it so much more than like how New Vegas was handled, and I loved. I'm not gonna like spoil it, but like there is a moment where like one of my decisions like comes back so much later on and bites me in the ass a little bit,
Yeah, yeah.
and I was just like, oh,
And that's cool.
This is what-
like it's interesting.
yeah. I was like, yeah, like the way it like happened. I'm like, well, this just changed my game a little bit. And it just turned into just me just to get out of this situation. I was just killing everyone because I was just like running through. Because like that's actually one of the things I did in that game is like I was very very melee based. Like I was going balls.
I was
to
going
the
to ask
wall
you
with,
that.
like,
Where did you kind of fall in
dude.
terms of like how are you spending your skill points?
Mainly, so like my highest skills were like melee,
Mm-hmm.
and like it was melee, dialogue, and like speech stuff, and like a little bit of tied between science and like the tech skills.
Yeah.
It was basically melee, dialogue, tech skills, and like a little bit of sneak and shit.
Yeah.
But like mainly melee. I was just going balls to the wall, smacking the shit out of people with like all the melee weapons. There's a good amount of variety of melee weapons, honestly. I was surprised by that.
Yeah, I honestly, one of my complaints about the game is that I wish that there was more variety in the guns.
The guns are like a little like even like the uniques. That's kind of a something. Like the uniques are kind of whatever. Like honestly, the coolest weapon that I ran into was something that you get. I mean, you might be able to get it earlier. I don't really know because I didn't really like go to this location until like later on in the game. Which I think you might be able to go to it. No, it's definitely got to be later on in the game. It's you get it from one of the main characters' lab. Towards the end of the game, and that weapon's fun because it's kind of like this like burst assault rifle that like does like AOE shit.
Yeah, but it's so those uniques are so few and far between.
Yeah. And like the uniques are fine. Then there's like the science weapons, which they're interesting somewhat. I don't really care about them too much because that like really plays off you going heavily into the science skill.
Right.
Like that's when those are like become like super good. If I like respect and went balls to the wall in science, I'd probably be only using the science weapons. Because that's actually the funniest thing is like I don't think I ever bought ammo in that game.
Yeah, I don't think I did either.
I don't think I ever bought ammo. I might have bought some Adreno once.
I don't think I ever bought that either. Yeah.
So the only reason I bought it is I accidentally sold it.
Oh yeah.
So that's the only reason I bought. Yeah, that's the only reason I bought it. Because other than that, like I didn't. I mean, honestly, I would love to actually play it on a harder difficulty because like I feel like the game on normal is like pretty fucking easy.
Very easy.
Like honestly, like I kind of regret not putting it. I wouldn't play on like Supernova or anything, but I feel like I can easily play on hard.
I think I actually mentioned that in my initial sort of like dialogue about it when I first was talking about the game on the show. Was I did feel like the game was just too easy.
Yeah, the game's a little too easy. Like, I feel like I should have been playing on hard, but I just kind of just don't care enough to switch it to hard. I was just kind of just let me just play on normal.
I was going to say about the faction stuff, I think the reason it does not bother us as much as it did with New Vegas is because I think this game, it handles it way more elegantly in that the factions are actually a crucial part of the story.
Yeah, they definitely are, because it is tied between like the corporations and all that. There's like the multiple corporations that you gotta like kind of like. There's the overarching like board. And then there is like the mini corporations like Sublight. There is MSI, Spacer's Choice and all that. Like it's all tied to those. And I mean, if you really look at it, the board is kind of like the bad guys. If you see them like that,
The Disney.
I don't. yeah, basically. But I don't even think you can see it like that. It's like really like it's just because again, like you went down a different choice for how you handled Edgewater than I did. Mm-hmm. And it's just really, it's all about preference, like how you want to handle like these certain things. Because I do want to play through again and do it completely. I want to be a savage. I want to just go full on like balls to the wall with some of those like asinine fucking responses you can do to people.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I think that's what's so great about these games when they're done really well is just it all boils down to player choice. But
yeah, because like I think it was like the first playthrough that this first playthrough I did is essentially how I usually do these is like kind of like I'm playing as me essentially. Like how would I handle this shit?
Yeah.
I'm role-playing as my goddamn self.
Yeah.
But I think the next time, I do want to do another playthrough of that game, and I really just want to go full psycho. Just full psycho. Just go ape shit. Just like get those good old like, I'm about to attack you now. Just like sort of response.
Well, I would do shit in New Vegas where it's just like, okay, I'm gonna do a run where I'm role-playing as this kind of character or that kind of character. Yeah. Or like I've done like cannibal runs of Fallout games,
the good old cannibal runs, yeah.
But that kind of shit, that's again. And when I first talked about the Outer Worlds, I kept making the comparisons. I'm like, this is why this game is what Fallout 4 should have been for me.
Oh no, it really goes to show is like I could not get into Fallout 4 for the fucking life of me. I've tried multiple times to play that game. I can't do it. And I play through the Outer Worlds, and I'm basically glued to my seat just on my 2 off days, basically spending majority of my off days just engrossed into the Outer Worlds, just playing the shit out of it.
Yeah, that game to me is much, much better, and it's made with a much, much smaller budget in much, much less time by a much smaller team.
It's like I can look past like the graphical issue. Like I don't really care. Like the game doesn't look that good, but I don't care. It's still a fun ass game.
Yeah, I can absolutely look past issues like that if the game's core is still good.
Yeah, because I think I'll say this: the gunplay is like it's passable. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's nothing to write home about, but it's definitely a passable experience.
Yeah, I had no real issues.
It's like combat wise, the game's fun. I actually really like the time dilation, basically VATS essentially, but not VATS.
Yeah, it's slightly different from VATS, and I honestly find it to be a little rudimentary. It doesn't. It's not as useful.
Like, I found myself using it. I didn't really use it often.
Yeah,
I'd use it if I had like a shit ton of mobs on me. Mm-hmm. I'd use it like that's basically the only time I'd really use it. And
like you said, I mean, the game is just so easy. It really is
nothing to go crazy.
Yeah,
like honestly, half the time it's like I'd get I got my tremor cleaver. I had it like modded for like speed grip and like corrosive damage. I'm just sitting there whipping it back and forth, just smacking the shit out of people.
Well, I'm glad you circled back to it and had a good time with it.
Oh yeah, it's like now I'm just gonna be. I think I Snapchatted you. I'm like, well now my next 2 days off will be existential dread.
Yeah, what's next on? I know you're saying you're gonna try out Call of Duty's new stuff.
Yeah. So that's probably gonna be the next big thing that I'm messing with is just checking out the battle pass for Call of Duty. I know that came out. I think like some new maps came out actually. I think I saw Crash. Like I think they put Crash into the game from like Modern Warfare.
They
Model.
actually that was leaked actually a while ago.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I was just like watching like on YouTube by somebody. I think it was like a Drifter or whatever. The guy that does like the in depth bullshit.
Hmm.
His ass was like doing a video on the battle pass, and I'm like, is that Crash? I was like, as I'm watching him play, I'm like, is that Crash? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good map to put into the game. Honestly, it's like shit. Love that map.
What else has been going on? What else have you been playing?
I'm trying to think if I've been playing anything else other than like the Outer Worlds.
It's been the main thing.
That's really been the main thing. Like, there's things I've thought about playing,
What's been
but
what is on that rarefied list?
I've thought about playing a little more WoW Classic, but I just
Yeah,
don't give a shit enough.
that's the kind of thing where I would love to have time to circle back to that and play some more of that. But yeah,
Oh no, I'd love to play on our Torrens again, but it's just like who knows when we'll have the time to both jump on that.
It's
And then
been
I know
forever.
Reach has come out, and I'm like, I really want to play that.
we need to play that in co-op. It was funny. I was actually I was looking into this. One of my coworkers, Josh, we were planning on like maybe getting together and like him and I maybe doing a co-op playthrough.
Hey, I'm down. I'm definitely down.
But here's the thing. So he has it on PC, and for some fucking reason, there is no crossplay support
What?
with Master Chief Collection on PC and Xbox,
Really?
which is insane to me. And upon doing some more research, I'm like, okay, well, what is crossplay? You would be shocked to,
Well, it's like I know that one of the few things that probably is like Sea of Thieves is.
dude, you would be shocked to see the number of games that are not crossplay.
Like between like the shit on that, like the Microsoft stuff.
Yeah. These are first party games. And I understand why like multiplayer centric games can't be, because people on PC just do have like an advantage, like an objective advantage.
I still shit on PC players. Just saying.
That's fine. I'm not
I know.
independent of skill. I just mean that they have a literal advantage. Like a controller will never move as fast
Oh no, God no.
as
God,
a
no.
high DPI
Like,
mouse. Like it's just not possible.
it's a different thing. It's like you know what really shows that shit is like I would hate playing a game like when I was into I was playing that shit with Jacob. Was it Quake Champions? Could never play that game with a fucking controller. That would be dog shit. Like those Twitch shooters can't do it.
Exactly. And there is a difference. And so I understand that sort of angle on it. But the fact that I can't play Reach in co-op with a PC player, that sucks.
That's a little bullshit. Yeah.
But you and I can still probably
Oh, I definitely want to like replay that shit.
I do want to carve out a space of time to do that at some point, because that'll be fun. Reach is a great game, but carving out a space of time is a challenge.
Do we want to record it, or we just want to enjoy ourselves?
I don't know.
We'll cross that bridge when we actually sit down and play it.
Again, carving out the time itself is the inherent challenge.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I just can't believe that we're like basically a month out to PAX.
Very close.
Like it's like I was like sitting there. I'm like, fuck, it's December. I was like, what the fuck? Just like what happened?
It's very close. It's absurdly close.
Like, dude, it feels like fucking last week was Halloween to me.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. The year has really gotten away from me. And again, it's been my life really since like September. I've been so busy, and this year more than any year previous has really gotten away from me, to the point where I was texting Dan today, and it occurred to me that holy shit, Rise of Skywalker comes out in like 2 weeks.
Right?
In 2 weeks. That's crazy.
Fuck, dude, it's crazy.
And then by the time I'm watching that, in 2 weeks' time, I'll be watching that. And then by the time I'm watching that, Christmas is a few days away, and PAX is less than a month away at that point. It's fucked. Time is a garbage nightmare.
Dude, it's crazy.
So yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Shit, I'm kind of hoping my flight details change again.
Think so?
I'm hoping they do because that return flight annoys me now.
We'll see what happens. We still have
Because
some time.
that return flight's pretty ass now.
Have they changed it again since the last time?
I know. It's just like it's early in the morning, way earlier than I'd like.
Yeah.
It's like I think like it went from being because again I intentionally I think spent more money to get it like an extra like $20 I think to get it like at like 1:30 or some shit
Right.
like 1:30 in the afternoon. Now I think it's like 8 in the morning. I'm like fuck.
Yeah. That kind of shit happens. I mean, we'll see. It's completely possible and even likely that it'll change more.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping it does because that's a good little drive from where we're gonna be at.
And honestly, it's well, I mean, it'll be about 3 hours. So what's interesting is it's basically you're flying into Houston, and
Yeah.
PAX is happening in San Antonio, and San Antonio is right by Austin, which we're going to spend a day in Austin also. And because of that, it's actually Houston is about the halfway point between where I live and where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting from that perspective. But yeah, I mean, obviously, it would have been nicer to have it later in the day to.
Well, that's why I was trying to do that.
But whatever happens. We're gonna have a good time
it's
either way.
fine. Oh, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
We should be
great.
getting our badges in the mail shortly, probably at some
Hopefully.
point this month, actually. So,
Yeah, we definitely should.
and then we'll probably in early January we'll kind of we'll know more the schedule of what's going on in terms of like what they'll have at the actual show. Usually about 2 weeks out, we kind of know what's going on with that. So, yeah, it's been busy for me. To be honest, I have not really played. I don't think I've played a video game in over a week. I haven't. I don't think touched anything.
That's just like it depresses me hearing you say that. Like it's just like, dude, what's the thing? Even when I talk about playing like games, I really don't game when I'm working. It's like the 2 off days is when I go balls deep, and that's it.
I like to at least try to have like a little bit, even if it's just a couple of hours, even if I'm just like turning on Pokemon or something like that.
Yeah.
But even that has just not been a possibility for me.
You know, with the power of the Switch.
Yeah. Power of the Switch just makes that so easy.
That's actually something I've been the power of the Switch. I've been wanting to play some Diablo.
It's funny. The game that has been entering my mind, and again, I haven't played a video game in a little over a week now, but the game that I keep thinking about turning on, like when I lust for video game time, and I think to myself, God, if I could just sit down with a video game right now, how tantalizing that would be. The game that I keep thinking about is Skyrim.
Dude,
I want to play Skyrim.
Bring back Dragon Tales, damn it.
I don't know why, but I want to play Skyrim.
I still love that we made that shit the intro to that. So stupid.
And it's funny now because another shout out to my coworker Josh. He surprised me. I don't even know if I told you about this, but
what?
He came in to work. I was working with him one day, and he came into work, and he just kind of passes me this bag, and he says, "I know it's early, but Merry Christmas."
Oh, all right then.
And inside the bag was a Blue Yeti Nano. And the Blue Yeti Nano is basically going to be my streaming / gameplay footage. Like whenever we record something that requires me to move my setup.
Yeah.
The Blue Yeti Nano is going to be so perfect for that because it has the same kind of like audio quality that we're used to with the Blue Yeti, but it's so much more compact and easy to move. So yeah, he just bought me a Blue Yeti Nano for Christmas. I was like,
that shit like $80.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Shout out to him.
I was like, Jesus.
It's like that's very nice of you. I'm looking at it right now, like the Nano. Oh yeah, that's actually like, that's like way smaller.
It's extremely small and just lightweight and compact, and it's going to be so easy. Because like for context, whenever we have to record like say a Smash Brothers showcase or a gameplay series or something like that, I have to take my entire recording setup and move it to the living room. It takes me a solid like 15-20 minutes just to like get set up to do that stuff, and it's really annoying. So having this Blue Yeti Nano, it's going to make my time to do that a lot quicker.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So it's nice. I like it a lot. And I also have kind of been experimenting with having it as a backup recording mic.
Okay.
I'm actually doing that right now. I'm recording with the main mic, just the audio that I'm going to be using. But in case something were to fuck up with this mic, the Nano is recording in the background. So, yeah, it's kind of cool.
I mean, I definitely respect that. It's funny is I could technically do that same setup.
Yeah.
Is just like have like 2 mics recording right now and just do the same shit. But
say this main mic that I always use happened to just randomly short out in the middle of our recording.
Yeah.
I could then just continue recording with the Blue Yeti Nano.
That's the thing. I always forget that. I don't know why I forget. It's like I have 2 stupid mic arms set up in my room. I have because I still have my old Blue Yeti, but then I also have this. I think it's like RE3 whatever the fuck it is, like one of those condenser mics. But yeah, So it's cool. Those shout out to him. But I kind of so I have that, and it would be kind of really easy. In other words, the reason I brought this up, it would be really easy. In other words, for me to do that if I wanted to go back to doing Dragon Tales. Honestly, like what would be love is if like you had a computer that can handle like recording, like gameplay.
I think there's that one that I was looking at that my computer could technically handle.
Yeah.
The live game.
Oh yeah. That like I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I could get my hands on that, and my computer could handle that, and it does do like 1080p, like 60 frames recording, but. Even I actually went back and was looking at some of the old Skyrim where we just like streamed it basically, and even that like
it's fine. That's
was
like
fine,
dude, like
yeah.
It was an easy thing, but it's like it kind of like it cuts the bullshit when you don't got to do Twitch.
Yeah, it's worth experimenting with. So, but that is that when I think about the games that I want to play, for some reason Skyrim is what enters my mind.
I honestly do want to get back to like having like content on YouTube again. It's just time to do it.
Well, time, and then also content that is worthy of putting on there.
That's real shit, because I don't want to like just randomly just do stupid shit for no reason.
Yeah,
because there's really nothing I care about like recording, I think, at this point.
Well, there are just certain games where it's like we're not going to be one of those channels that just like literally uploads everything that we're playing on there. It's just
hell no,
not going to happen. But anyway, with that being said, Todd, are you ready for some news?
Always.
It's been kind of actually a quiet news week. We do have a few items on the docket, but nothing too crazy. I'll say that. It has been relatively quiet. There's some exciting things on there. Maybe some rumors, some leaks, some next generation rumors and leaks perhaps that are on the news topic. Let's start with this. So, Super Mario Maker 2 is getting really its first big new update, which is coming out just in time for Christmas. In fact, by the time you're hearing this, it is live now. It's the version 2.0 update for Super Mario Maker 2. And the reason I bring this up is because we, of course, got that. I think it was back in October. We got the co-op patch for Mario Maker 2. But this is an actual content-adding update. And it adds a lot of new things to the game. So there are going to be a lot of new enemy options for you to place in your levels, new items. There's going to be a Ninja Speedruns mode where you can participate in weekly speedrun events to earn in-game rewards. But most importantly, perhaps, is a Master Sword power-up.
A what?
Yes, and when you access it, it will allow you to play as Link in the Super Mario Brothers game style. So, this is kind of in response to... I'm sure you're at least somewhat aware of the amiibo support that the first game had.
Yeah.
So the first game allowed you to scan literally all of the existing amiibo, and there was a skin associated with that amiibo. They had like a pixel art, so like you would scan Star Fox, you could play as like pixel art Star Fox or whatever. Like, and for any amiibo, like 100+ skins they added to that game. They're kind of rudimentary though. Like they didn't really do. It literally was like they still functioned exactly like Mario, just with a skin. But this is quite a bit different. So with this Master Sword power up, they're really kind of like taking it a step further. So as Link, not only can you now actually swing and attack with your sword, which is something you couldn't do before. Again, you couldn't like do. There were no new mechanics added. It was just a little skin in the first one. You can now also guard with your shield.
The fuck?
You can perform moves like you can do the dash attack and the downward thrust attack. You can fire a bow and arrow.
Are we about to just be super Zelda Maker at this point?
Sort of, yeah. And you can even lay bombs.
Okay. That's interesting as hell.
So yeah, it's much more in-depth and interesting than like these glorified skins that the first game got. So this is gonna, I think, open up some really interesting things, like you said, essentially making it super Zelda Maker almost.
Yeah.
People are gonna be able to make really cool little Zelda-like games with Mario Maker 2 now. It's cool to see the game getting some support because the first game got a lot of support and we haven't really seen too much of it with this one yet. Now that this is out, I think they're going to start rolling out updates a lot more frequently. I think what it was, honestly, I think they were just so worried about getting that co-op patched in.
Yeah.
They're just like, fuck it, let's just get that out. You know, get the people to shut up about the co-op, and then we'll focus on actually updating the game.
Where's the co-op?
And to be fair, there's a video of us playing the co-op on the YouTube channel. Like, it works. Like, we didn't have any problems with it.
Works pretty seamlessly.
I don't think we had any instances of lag or anything like that. Like, it was pretty straightforward. So it's cool. It's cool to see this game getting supported a little bit more. It's the kind of update where I'm like, maybe I'll re-download Mario Maker 2 and check that out.
Oh, did you delete it?
Oh, I haven't played that game in forever. Moving on from that, though, we reported last week that a remake of Resident Evil 3 was on the way. And it looks like the official announcement of that may be imminent, because a leaked PSN listing was revealed, displaying the game's key art, which is showcasing new designs for main characters Jill and Carlos, as well as a new design for the primary antagonist Nemesis. So, the game has not been officially revealed, but it's like, this is real. This is real now. There's no doubt about it. Now that we've seen the actual art, like we've seen the fucking icons on the PlayStation Network store, like the pre-order icons, you know, of the box art. We've seen it. It's real. So I suspect that announcement is probably going to come at the Game Awards this year. Be on the lookout for that, I suppose. You, of course, have already expressed your distaste with remakes. So I imagine you will not be on board with this one.
I'll pass.
I still got to play 2. I own it. Want to play it actively. So we'll see. Cool for fans. I think this was an inevitability. Resident Evil 3 Remake. And, you know, it's interesting because that game, when you think about Resident Evil 3 compared to 2, it does reuse a lot of the same assets from 2. But there's also a lot of, like, Raccoon City stuff, like, out in the actual city. So
yeah.
That'll be interesting to see. And, in fact, if you look at the art, that key art, like I said, that was revealed, you can actually see the expanse of the city in the background. So it seems like maybe that will be a big focus of this remake. I don't know. Have you actually seen this art? This icon?
I looked it up as you were talking about it.
So let me just say this. I don't like the Nemesis redesign.
Apparently you're not alone with that. Like there's something weird about it. Something's off.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what's off. He's like this weird abomination now with like a nose and shit.
Yeah.
It's weird looking. Not bad.
His teeth bother the shit out of me.
He was always like kind of disturbing.
He had that like weird teeth before, but it's like I feel like they're just too long now.
The nose is what bothers me. Now it looks a little too real. You know what I mean? Like now it looks a little too like they thought about what he would look like if he was a real thing. And they came up with that, and it kind of disturbs me. I don't know. And he is so much more aggressive than X is in Resident Evil 2. So we'll see. We'll have to see how that all plays out. I don't know. I think it's cool. I think it's cool what Capcom's doing with these remakes. There's also, of course, the rumors of that Dino Crisis thing, whatever that's going to be. You'll remember I predicted that would happen at last E3.
We've been talking about that shit.
I've been talking about that for a while. I want to see it. Anyway, moving along, Todd, this is something that I wanted to talk about. I was curious if you had heard about this. This was actually just broken today at the time of this recording. So, after over 2 years of updating and completely revamping the game in many ways, development on Star Wars Battlefront 2 is finally coming to a head. And to that end, a version of the game called the Celebration Edition is now available that will give players access to all of the unlockable content in the game. All of the heroes, skins, emotes, victory poses, basically everything that you could buy or unlock in the game will be freely accessible with this version. Basically, if you own this version, you own everything.
That sounds like microtransactions with extras.
Ish.
I'm just talking shit.
Now, here's the thing. You will still have to earn experience progression and like the card unlocks and stuff that you use for the multiplayer. That's all, and achievements and stuff like that. That all still needs to be earned the normal way. And certain skins that were tied to things like pre-order bonuses or event rewards, those are still going to be relegated to those things. So you will not suddenly have access to something that you would have normally missed out on. But in terms of all the things that you could normally acquire via crystals or whatever, you can now just freely access from the start of the game if you own the Celebration Edition. Now,
I mean, it's only for like I'm actually looking at it's only like $25.
So yeah, so new players can grab it for $40, or existing players can upgrade for $25.
It's not bad.
I think that's extremely reasonable. Considering that game is like frequently on sale and stuff like that, I think that most of the people that are playing that game probably already own it. And like the people who are interested in that game probably already own it. So I think a lot of people will be going for this upgrade option. And I think I'm going to go for it just to support the game.
Yeah, I'm probably going to end up buying it. I don't care.
And it's only $25, and really, when you think about all the content that is available there, I mean, they made all the heroes unlockable for a while now, to where you could freely play as all the heroes and stuff like that. But to be able to just like go in and play with any skin you want, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I honestly respect that.
That's a pretty cool change.
I had to make a shitty joke about it, but I do respect it.
But that's not all that's happening with Battlefront 2. We actually have some details on a major Rise of Skywalker update that is dropping for the game on December 17th. They will add a new planet from the movie to the game's various modes, as well as it's going to add the Sith Trooper. That's that red stormtrooper that we've seen a bunch of in the promotions. The First Order Jet Trooper, and the Resistance Spy and Gunner units, which apparently for those ones, they'll feature new alien races from the movie for the Spy and the Gunner.
You know, it took every fiber of my being not to make that shitty, they fly now?
So, and also new appearances for Rey, Finn, and Kylo will be coming based on their appearance in The Rise of Skywalker. And yes,
red cracked helmet, let's go.
Exactly. And yes, the Celebration Edition players will still get these for free.
Nice.
So
okay.
the future stuff that is going to be added to the game will also be made available if you have the Celebration Edition. It's not just what's already out.
Okay, that's legit. I'm more than likely going to grab it.
They've also kind of given a little bit of hint to the future. So they did stress in this blog post that their content roadmap is always subject to change based on player feedback. But one of the things that they are going to be focusing on is folding sequel trilogy planets and content into the game's various modes. That's something that fans have been kind of complaining about. They've had this like new co-op mode, but you can't really go on any of the sequel trilogy locations with it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they're going to start working these sequel trilogy locations into all of the game's modes and just kind of make it more uniform. And that's going to be kind of rolling out over the course of January. And in January as well, they'll be adding 2 more heroes to the game in the form of BB-8 and BB-9E as playable
what?
heroes.
What?
Yes. Yes. You'll be able to play as BB-8.
All right, then.
I don't know how it's going to work, but that's a thing that's going to happen. And that makes me happy. And honestly, if you're going to put BB-8 in the game, you might as well put BB-9E. It's just going to be a skin, basically, at that point. It's like, fuck it.
Well, it's at that point, it's like you got, they got to give you, since you're going to have the BB, BB-8 is like the hero. You're going to have, yeah.
By the way, how bizarre is it that they had all of this, I don't know if you remember, before The Last Jedi came out, all of this, like, marketing material around BB-9E, and that motherfucker is in the movie for, like, a scene. He's, like, barely in it. I'm like, why were you making such a big deal about this droid? He was hardly in it. And now the new one coming up is Dio for Rise of Skywalker.
BB-9E is a menacing astromech droid.
Well, okay.
That's what I'm fucking reading.
He's literally in the movie for one scene. Oh, well. I digress. He honestly makes me laugh when he pops up. Because he's almost like, yeah, he's menacing, but he's also, like, cute.
Yeah.
Anyway, last bit of news I've got here, Todd, is a major one. Because we may have gotten a sneak peek at Microsoft's next-gen plans this week. Thanks to a report by the Oracle, Kotaku's Jason Schreier.
All hail. No.
Exactly. Friend of the show. We cite Jason's work a lot. Jason Schreier, of course, being one of the few actually working gaming journalists today.
He is our guiding light. No.
Exactly. We kneel at the altar of Schreier here. But Jason reports that the next generation Project Scarlett will in fact have 2 models available to purchase when it comes out next holiday. There will be a beefier version codenamed Anaconda. Consider that for as long as you'd like. Or the all-digital and less powerful codenamed Lockhart.
I mean, I kind of wish they kept the snake motif, but whatever.
Yeah, call it Copperhead or something like that.
Python, I don't fucking know.
Yeah. So this sort of seems to be in line with Microsoft's actually current strategy, where they offer the sort of more premium and powerful Xbox One X, as well as a kind of more affordable and less powerful Xbox One S. And of course, the S also has got an all-digital option. So it's kind of interesting that it seems like coming into the next generation, they're going to have something similar, where they'll have an all-digital, less powerful Lockhart for people.
I see myself going for the Lockhart at that point.
Think so, huh?
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, if I'm gonna get like an Xbox, I'm probably gonna get the cheaper option, honestly.
Despite the fact that the Anaconda will likely be much more powerful, that doesn't really bother you?
No.
I'll say this. I am an owner of the Xbox One S all digital, and the extra power of the X, while it is like I hear so many amazing things about like how games look and run better on the X, but it has not really encouraged me to upgrade.
Yeah, I think we're the same in that way of like I don't care for like more power. You know what I'm saying? If I can do what I want, if it can do what I want it to do, I'm fine with it. Like like the lower powered like all digital shit, I'm fine with that.
So I'm sort of two minds with this because I think the reason I feel that way about my Xbox One S is because my Xbox is just not my primary console.
Yeah, that's
because here's the thing.
That'll be the only reason I'd want the stronger like the more powerful version, like the Anaconda.
Yeah. Well, if all of a sudden next generation Xbox is where you play most of your games,
I would want the more beefier version.
You're gonna want the beefier one.
It's the same reason like why I have like a fucking standard ass Xbox One and like I do have the PS4 Pro.
Exactly.
The PS4 Pro is the PS4 is just like my main thing.
And when they eventually do a Switch Pro, I mean, I'm not going to be able to empty my wallet fast enough. So
I'm more than likely still gonna Switch Pro, even though I don't play the Switch that often.
it's just one of those things where it's like, if it's a console that I am spending a lot of time with, I'm definitely going to want to go for the beefier option. So
That's the thing. I definitely spend more time with my Switch than I do my Xbox.
yeah, so that'll be interesting to see kind of coming into the next generation, like where you're going to fall with in terms of like where is Xbox going to become my preferred platform? Can they win me back?
Yeah, I've made the joke. I'm like, am I gonna go back home? Like,
can they win us back?
because it's such a weird thing of like I played so much 360, and then like no PS3 essentially.
You hated the PS3.
Hated it.
PS3 famously, I believe, when we did our list of consoles,
all
ranking the consoles,
the way at the bottom. All the way at the bottom.
PS3 is your least favorite console.
Yep, just not good. Not a good console. Don't give a shit.
Interesting.
But yeah, and then it's funny. It's like the PS4 is like number one, I think. Actually,
yeah, just on complete opposite ends of the spectrum. So I do wonder, coming into PS5 versus Scarlett,
yeah,
where's this going to fall? We know, of course, and we've been long reporting on the show over the course of the past couple of years of just the way that Microsoft is gearing up, at least on the software side.
Oh no, they're doing what I've been wanting them to do. So it's like there's gonna be some shit to play. So like, am I excited for Xbox? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It'll all be down to the controller. No, I'm just playing.
Well, the interesting you say that, and it seems like I don't really expect the controller to change much on either side.
I don't think they're gonna change at all. There might be just like little tweaks, and that's about it.
We've seen the patent of the DualShock 5, and it looks very much like a DualShock 4. The Xbox One's controller is not very different from the 360's, and I don't really expect Scarlett's to be very different.
That's the thing. I think they found what works, and they're just kind of like doing slight tweaks, and that's about it.
Yeah, so that it'll be interesting. I think it's going to come down to the games for me, and Microsoft is certainly taking that seriously. They're taking the software side seriously with Scarlett.
I mean, either way, I'm already planning on at least getting like both essentially.
Yeah,
but it's just like we'll see what the deal is, like what version I'm gonna end up getting.
To take a page from Papa John's book, the day of reckoning is coming, as it relates to Xbox. So this is another interesting thing in Jason's report. He does notate that the next generation consoles that both Microsoft and Sony are cooking up are actually very similar in terms of power. So it seems like they will be very likely neck and neck in terms of actual power.
Well, it's like that's my thing. Is like how much more power could you get into a console at this point?
Yeah.
Until like like within the next couple of years, when the technology advances, but at this point,
I think the devil will be in the details, as they say, because the things that we don't know about, the things that we're still totally in the dark about, are things like OS features, things like how smoothly does it run, how easily is it all laid out for me, how
I still like absolutely hate Xbox's dashboard.
I don't like it either. It's messy.
I'm not a fan of it.
It's messy. I don't like accessing anything on there. And like it's visually busy.
Yeah, they need to clean that shit up. I think PS4, the Switch, so much better when it comes to the fucking dashboard.
Ironically enough, probably my favorite solution to that, I really loved PS3's cross media bar.
Yeah, actually, I admit that's actually good.
It was so clean, and just like the drop downs and the folder options, like I loved that. I don't need Flash. You know what I'm saying?
I just need it to be clean and easily accessible. That's all I need.
Do you remember how Xbox 360 incorporated the blades at one point?
I think I know what you're talking about.
Where there was like different bladed kind of it was almost like you were turning pages of a book.
Yeah, the thing is, I didn't hate that. Like that was fine.
I liked it.
No, I it was when that was. I'm trying to do this so why I would love to actually look through the history of the dashboards because I know that changed by the end of it. I don't remember what it ended up being after
Well,
that. That's the thing.
it ended up being a sort of thing where the it was almost like on a horizontal axis where you would see that the
Yes.
avatars had a big part.
Yes, yes, yes,
Your
yes.
friends list was just on a horizontal axis of everybody's avatars, you know.
And I personally, it's like after the Blades was the fall of the dashboard for me.
But you got into such a groove, you got so used to the blades that it would get to the point where I had it memorized, like how many bumper presses I needed to get to the right place, you know.
But that's kind of what you want with a dashboard. You want it like you want to know how to like get around it. You want
Yeah.
to know to like
There should be the barrier between me and the things that I want to experience should be so minimal. I don't give a fuck about your Bing search functionality or your Cortana integration. I don't care about that.
give a shit.
Get that shit out of my face. I just want to play video games. You know what I mean? So, another thing that we don't know, we know about these sort of like this, the OS features aside, the slight technical edges that one console may have over another. We have heard tell for the past year or so that these consoles are going to have solid state drives that they're running off of, which is very interesting to me. Because the solid state drive, of course, is going to make it a lot faster in terms of the readable and writable memory.
Well, yeah, that's the next fucking battle is load times, right?
Exactly. So that's what they're saying.
That's an interesting. I mean, that's like where else can they go? Because at this point, it's like they really can't do anything graphically yet until technology advances more. So let's fuck with the loading.
What we're hearing about with PS5 is that their marketing push is going to be no load times.
Yeah, what was their whole thing with? They're like, oh, we're running Spider. I was the Spider-Man on PS4, like PS5, and it's like what, like a second, if that.
They showed Spider-Man on running on PS5, early PS5 hardware, and yeah, the entire city loaded in less than a second.
That's insane to me. Like,
So.
I mean, it's. I will see how it is with like, because that's something that I think like these consoles really had an issue with actually, especially like, whoo shit. Again, it's like but we bust a nut real quick talking about when Bloodborne came out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was really bad.
Like there's a couple games that like had those issues, or like it's just like dude, the loading was like not optimized. So I think that is like that's what they're about to go for. Shit.
What I'm really curious about, talking about all this stuff is great. I'm really curious about the pricing model that they're going to go
Yeah,
with.
I mean that's something like I was thinking about this actually at work. I had a similar conversation. It's like, are they willing to take a hit to like charge a little less than it's probably worth?
A lot of consoles are initially sold at a loss, sometimes even a tremendous loss.
But it's I feel like at that point it ends up making up for it, obviously, because like more people are gonna be buying it. But
as a matter of fact, I think when PS4 launched, it was being sold at a loss.
yeah,
So,
but I think that's the smarter thing to do, because like, dude, if you bring out of nowhere where it's like an $800 fucking console, like go fuck yourself. I'm not paying.
it can't
paying
be
for
that much.
Like I ain't paying for that shit. Like it's when I start like where I'm like, bruh, like past $500 is where I'm like, eh.
We don't really live in a world anymore where you can get away with asking for more than $500. I don't.
Yeah, it's like $499 is like my fucking limit on like a console. Honestly, it's like at that point, let me just drop like hella money on fucking on a PC. Like, go fuck yourself.
Which is why I think it is really smart for Xbox to have multiple options.
Well, yeah.
And I wonder if PlayStation's going to look at that at all.
Because like if PlayStation comes out the door with like a $600 console, even like if Xbox comes out with like a $600, I'm like, shit's gonna be like. Ooh.
Think about it this way. Now, SSD prices have sort of gone down a bit over the years. They're not nearly as expensive as they used to be. You could get a 1 terabyte SSD for about $100.
Yeah.
And of course, you gotta consider that these console manufacturers, of course, are buying in bulk. They get better prices and blah blah blah. But $100 devoted just to the hard drive alone is not insubstantial.
Yeah.
And these things, by the way, have to have at least a terabyte of memory.
Oh, no. Nowadays, shit, if you don't got a terabyte, you gotta get that shit out of my fucking face.
We can't be, in today's day and age, we can't be talking about less than a terabyte anymore.
Well, you give me a 500 gig, I'll tell you to go fuck yourself.
We just can't be talking about less than a terabyte anymore.
Well, it's like, nowadays, like, shit, these games at the end of this generation's life cycle, bro, they rocking 100 gigs like right then and there.
To the point where I almost wonder if they'll go ahead and just say, you know what, 2 terabyte.
And honestly, that'd be a good move.
2 terabyte hard drives are gonna run you somewhere in the $200 avenue for an SSD. And again, I'm sure they can get these for a lot cheaper. The way they're being bought in bulk for manufacturing and stuff like that. But you're still talking about, if you're talking about a $500 console, which we've sort of established is probably the peak of what they can ask for these consoles, you're talking about a fifth of the budget,
yep,
if not more, is going right to the hard drive. So, and you know, the actual hardware that goes inside of these things, the processors and stuff, that's not cheap either.
Yeah.
So
it's, I'm honestly like really, really curious to how much they're gonna ask for these consoles. It's
gonna be really the power to price ratio is gonna be really interesting. I'm looking forward to knowing more. We're in an exciting time.
We'll see how much of a loss they're willing to take, basically.
Yeah, we are in an exciting time though. I think this pre new console cycle is going to be very exciting. I think as these manufacturers start to lift the curtain a little bit on what they're doing. So, but that, Todd, is all I've got for the news this week. Kind of a light week, but I think we were able to extract some juice. Definitely looking forward to some of this stuff. I'm for sure going to jump on that Battlefront 2 Celebration Edition.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to grab that.
I want to stress that to you guys, because that game really, I know that game caught a lot of shit.
But where it's at now,
they really did turn that game around.
Yeah,
they really did turn that game around. I want to support that. I mean, it's not a game that I sit there and play a bunch anymore.
No, I think we've jumped on it like recently, just messing around with the co-op. But it's not anything like I'm not playing it every day.
It's not revolutionary.
I don't play games every day. Yeah,
but that game's fun. Like they have made that game fun. They really turned that game around. I really love the way they have been like supporting that game consistently since launch. Like I would have thought that they were just gonna like chalk Battlefront 2 up as an L and just like say fuck it.
They definitely didn't do that. They kind of turned that L into a W. Honestly,
they have redeemed themselves, much like Darth Vader did. Todd,
shut the fuck up.
In Star Wars: Return of the Jedi, they redeemed him.
Bro, I was like, as we were like recording this, I was looking at my memories on Facebook. And apparently 5 years ago was our legendary Far Cry 4 bro-op.
Oh, yeah? That was fun.
Makes me happy to see these pictures of my dumbass on the elephant as Herc.
Good co-op times.
Long live the king.
That was that game, wasn't it?
It was that game, yeah.
Anyway, Todd, that's all I've got this week, unless you want to add anything else.
I think that's it, man.
Any other thoughts, comments, concerns, or ideas rattling around in that empty space? No, I'm just kidding.
That's kind of hurtful.
A little hurtful. You're very smart, Todd. Don't let anybody tell you any different. You're a smart cookie. And I believe in you. I believe in you, and I'm proud of you.
Somebody has to be.
All right. We'll catch you guys next week. Thanks for listening. Get fucking dunked on. Bye.
See ya.
Hey there, thanks for checking out another fantastic Nerd Bourbon video. If you like what you saw and you want to see more, be sure to go ahead and subscribe, leave us a like, drop us a nice comment, or I guess a mean one if that's your prerogative. But until next time, get dunked on.